I'll say something briefly, and then what I'm going to do is temporarily hang up and call back on my better webcam. But I didn't want to have Adam. Adam shouldn't have to defend my title. So that was my title. And the reason why, Jabari, that title, there's two reasons. One is YouTube. And so that makes people go, huh? But I wouldn't want anything in the title to not be true.
Hold on a minute.
And that's where the disagreement will come in. And here's the disagreement. From what I see from people who practice Kemet in 2021, I don't see the faithful line of continuation with Kemet from the ancient past in a way that I think legitimately says this is that. Not only that, the idea of Kemetic spirituality is almost problematic in and of itself because it's really Kemetic spiritualities. I'm not sure which one would be the right or official one, and I'm not sure if Jabari could really say which one's the right or official one, because Jabari likes to say things like, well, you can't take it literal, ladies and gentlemen. And so I'm wondering what's the real truth claim behind Jabari's tradition, because if it's mere tradition, have at it, but don't tell anybody else it's true. Just say it's your preference, like you like chocolate or vanilla. Now, lastly, if Jabari thinks I am not allowed to bring any kind of critical analysis on Kemet, I hear that opinion. But I wonder if he feels okay critiquing Odinism. I wonder if Jabari feels that he would be allowed to critique people who worship Thor and things like that. Or if he thinks he has to respect the Druids, for example, as legitimate spiritual heirs, that he can't say anything about them because that's a European tradition. And how dare he criticize the European tradition because he's out of European descent? I think those arguments are problematic. And here's why, and then I'll hand it over to my brother, and I'll call you guys in on a better phone. Truth is truth. And if there's truth with a capital T, maybe we might say it that way, using a colloquialism, then it's transcultural. And I'm not saying that we just wade into any waters without having any understanding. I understand we need to show respect in those things. But truth is truth, and if it's true, then it's true transcendently, and that means it's transcultural. And that means, Jabari, I would love for you to critique those Druids. Jabari, I would love for you to critique Odinism, and I may just critique Kemet a little bit. I'm going to call back you guys on a better phone in just a second here.
All right.
So, yeah, I mean...
hey, Adam, you might have to hold up because the reason is two of y'all. So I will have to let Jabari respond to that, and then you come in, and then he can respond to you. So, Brother Jabari...
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
I think that his logic is laughable. Particularly, I would wish he was here to hear this.
So you want to let Adam go? You want to let Adam go, and then by the time he comes,
because the family needs to really see how ridiculous this is. Once again, you don't get to destroy someone's home and then pillory them, insult them as homeless. Vocab Malone's people destroyed African traditions. And absolutely open his mouth and say, it's transcultural, you should be able to critique anything. Is he not self-aware? Does he not realize who he is and where he comes from? I mean, that's a really bizarre thing to say. Now, I would say it would be ridiculous if Adam said it. But it is absolutely ridiculous for Vocab to say it. A person of European descent saying, well, you should be able to critique anything. The reality is, it is Europeans that destroyed African traditions. It is Europeans that forced Africans into the hulls of ships. It is European that forced Africans into Christianity. You have no ground to stand on here with your critique. And I honestly have to say, I believe that's the reason why he asked dear brother Adam on here, because this conversation was supposed to be about me and Vocab. And so he asked Adam to come in so he could pour a little coffee into the milk. And that's kind of crazy. Adam, you know that's funny too. Come on, brother.
It's funny, but it's false. The reason why I'm here is because I got bought.
That was some of the most racist, irrelevant, logically fallacious garbage that I've ever seen in my life. It was a red herring, and it was a red herring distraction, right? It was a non sequitur. It didn't have nothing to do with addressing nothing that vocab said. Basically, he's telling vocab that basically because you're a white man, I don't have to answer to you. And that basically because you are a white man, you have no right to speak to me about anything, especially something that my people has created. Again, vocab Malone is asking him a question. And this guy, Jabari, just doubled down on his original statement. Instead of addressing the newly asked question, which is called a logical fallacy, red herring distraction. Okay? And it's distracting from the question that vocab Malone posed. And it's really sad, you know. He said that vocab's logic is laughable, but actually it's not. It's logic. It's valid. Okay. Now, when we talk, let's talk about logic. I'll let you all get a chance to understand what logic really is. Let me back up on out of here. You're going to back up on out of there. Now, this is logic. Logic is reasoning conducted or assessed according to strict principles of validity, right? None of the things that Jabari was saying was based upon strict principles of validity. None of the reasoning that was conducted by Jabari or assessed by Jabari was according to strict principles of validity. In fact, they were not even true. He was basically saying, which was a very racist and unvalid statement, that white people, vocab Malone, being that he's white, do not have the right to speak upon the people in the land in which they pillaged. Basically. The truth of the matter is that white people have been doing it for hundreds, perhaps thousands of years, successfully. They've been doing it to the Acadians. You can go back and read the history of the Gutians, right? You can go all the way back in ancient Sumerian history and Akkadian history and Babylonian history. And you read about the Kumari and the Gutians, right? They did it, and that's thousands of years ago. And from that seed, that line, which have been preserved through Masonic organizations, clandestine organizations, they have done it from that time all the way up until today. They did it when they went to Rome and they sacked and pillaged Rome. They did it when Attila the Hun ran them westward and they began to attack and pillage all of the western lands of Europe. They did it in Africa. They did it in the Americas. They did it in the entire Western Hemisphere. And this man saying that they don't, or they're not allowed to do such a thing. This is not valid. This is reasoning not conducted or assessed according to strict principles of validity, because the statement is not valid. It is not logical. Jabari's statement is not laughable, but it's very sad to represent the higher echelons of black people like he claims he does, with entirely no logical base whatsoever. This is pure arrogance, people. And we cannot sit there and just be supportive of a man because he talked good, because he lived good, or because he dressed good. We just can't support people like that, because when things come out your mouth that is wrong, it's crazy. See, he's saying that they're not allowed to do these things, but they are allowed to do these things, and as long as you or anyone else ain't doing anything about it, they will continue to be allowed to do these things. You see? Not Jabari nor anyone else have did anything to stop this pillaging, this raping and plundering of the land by Europeans. And until he do, or anybody else, he will not have a valid, logically based statement. And that is sad.